informed of what's going on, okay, in the area.
How do you raise the volume on this thing?
See?
The volume. Oh, there it is. Go.
Good.
Welcome, all you early birds. We'll be getting started in about 6 minutes. I have you all muted out now. If you want to participate in the call, just hit *6 and then hit 1, and we'll unmute you one at a time. We kind of do that to keep the noise level down and make sure everybody can hear well. Again, if you want to actively participate, just hit *6 and hit 1. We'll be getting started in about 4 or 5 minutes. Welcome, all you early birds. We'll be getting started in about 2 minutes. Let me unmute my partner, Chad. You on? I hear you. You're unmuted, correct, Chad?
Yes, sir.
All right, excellent. So we'll be getting started in about 2 minutes, guys. As always, this is an open forum. We've got a really good turnout today for this call, so everybody is muted right now. If you would like to actively participate in the call, and please do, hit *6 and then hit 1, and we'll unmute you one at a time, and you can take a crack at Coach Chad. We're going to play Stump the Coach today. See if you can just come up with a situation that he hasn't encountered or that he can't handle. I don't think it's happened yet, has it, Chad?
I don't know. We'll let them to be the judges of that.
All right. We'll be getting started in about 2 minutes, guys. For those of you on the East Coast, I hope the storm has passed you. It just passed me, so looks like the hail and the high winds are over, and we're all back to work.
The second wave is just rolling in right now.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, send it up this way. I'm about 100 miles from you.
They evacuated every school in this whole end of the state.
You guys are come down to Florida. You'd be used to hurricanes. That was nothing. That was just a thunderstorm.
This is the most weather dramatic place I've ever lived. Like
Yeah.
you can't pull into a supermarket right now because there's a thunderstorm coming, and there won't be milk, bread, or eggs. Like by the time this evening gets here, the shelves will be empty.
Great. So maybe we should role play We should role play prospecting during a hurricane. Maybe that'd be good today.
Yeah.
Guys, we have no one in the queue, and we've got 30-some people on the call. So thank you for the great turnout. Somebody in this group must have somewhere they're getting stuck. Even if it's just you're getting stuck making the calls, let's practice it with our coach today. Right before the call, we had 2 people reach out to customer service that were asking where the script was for today's call. And this is not a scripted call. It's an open forum. This is your opportunity once a month to kind of come on and role play with our coach, places that maybe you're getting stuck in your communication with the executors or even the attorneys, when you reach out to them. Things that are stumping you, places you're getting stuck, maybe difficult situations you're encountering. Nothing is off limits. We almost always will have 1 or 2 people that just kind of admit they're just not making the calls. So that's fine. If you have call reluctance, come on and discuss that with Chad. We do try for these calls, guys, if you're familiar with our call format on Thursday, that's more of an open forum. This is more of an actual role play call. So kind of like Jeopardy. If you have an issue, on Jeopardy, you got to put it in the form of a question. Try to put it in the form of something that you can role play and practice with Chad on. And Chad, it may be you and I talking to each other. We have nobody in the queue yet. I'm gonna go ahead and start the recording. Again, guys, hit *6 and hit 1 if you'd like to actively role play with Chad. And we've got plenty of time for 4, 5, 6 people. We have a brave volunteer. Thank you. So we do have 1 person in the queue, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the recording. Whoops, you know what? I think I started the recording prematurely, Chad, so I'm going to turn it off and turn it back on so you know where to pick it up. Hang on a sec. Okay, welcome one and all, agents from across the country. Today is March 1st, 2017, and this is role play call number 17. 2017, call number 17. Anyway, we have a good turnout today. We have 1 person in the queue thus far. And as we were just discussing, please, there's time for 5, 6, 7, many as 10 of you to participate. We want to hear places that you're getting stuck in your communication when you're making your phone calls. And you don't have. What's that, Chet?
Or we want to hear what's working for you. I think that's even more beneficial for a lot of folks. So if you have started prospecting and you're doing really well, please enter the queue and tell us what's working for you.
Perfect. And to do that, hit *6 and then hit 1. And I hopefully have about a 25-minute role play with the 1 person that's in there, or we'll get some more people that'll hit *6 and jump in. Well, let's go ahead and go to our first person.
Wait, Jim, before we get started, so excuse me, I just wanted to let everybody know where you can find the rest of these calls. So we do record everything we do. If you are a subscriber, you can look in the subscriber portal on the left-hand side and click on conference calls. And then there's a blue button for conference call archive. And it's organized by month. So at the top, you can use the arrow to scroll backwards in time and listen to previous month's calls. But a lot of folks report, getting a lot from this. So that's where you can find these calls. It's where this call will be posted once we're finished. The other thing I wanted to mention is the probate seller interview sheet, which you'll find below the video once it finishes playing on Fast Track Training Step 3. The probate seller interview sheet is kind of a top to bottom roadmap for the initial conversation. And we don't really provide scripts. We do provide that kind of roadmap to help you build your own language. However, I have been poked enough that I did write a script a few weeks ago, and you can find that in the Files tab of the Facebook Mastermind group. So if you go to, the All the Leads Mastermind group on Facebook. So if you're a member of that group and you look under Files, you'll see the script, and in there somewhere it's, I forget what it's called, but anyways, it's a heavily disclaimer version of a script. And the reason I really am opposed to scripts in this niche is because the conversations can go so many ways, and you can provide so many different options. It's almost impossible to cover all the scenarios. So that's what these calls are for. We've had some really good calls in the past, so if you don't hear something that you came here to hear today and you don't want to put yourself in the hot seat, take some time this week and listen to some of the archived calls. And follow along with that probate seller interview sheet. That's all I've got there.
Yeah, Chad, we literally have hundreds of hours of recorded calls between the mastermind and the role play calls. You don't have to listen to them all. Chad's done a really good job of summarizing what was discussed on each call. So just scroll down. If you have a particular question, something you need help with, chances are it's been covered in a previous call. You can scroll down, look at the topics, and then click on that call and listen to it. And we do have one brave person in the queue, and phone number ending in 0132. You're up.
Hi, I'm Anthony. I'm out of Maryland. I just signed up, and you answered my question in regards to the script portion, but I have that in front of me. So how do I start a conversation besides saying, "Hey, someone just died. I'm here to sell your home"? And
so
being
No, that's great. Why don't you go ahead and role play that with Chad? Chad will call you, and you can be the homeowner, and Chad will be the agent.
So Anthony, I want to walk you through first what I will do, so you can kind of recognize this. The most common objections when people don't know you and don't trust you, and what I learned early on, they want to know how in the hell you got their information, why you're reaching out when someone passed away, and it's a very sensitive time, what it is that you could possibly do to help them, and those are really the top things. So what you want to quickly establish, and this is a very confident delivery of what we call the probate USP, or your unique selling proposition, is who you are, how you got their information, what unique value you can provide, and then end with a question. So you can kind of disrupt their state and keep control of the conversation. I find if you don't end on a question, you find yourself going down the rabbit hole. So just remember, focus on those things. So who I am, how I got your information, what I can do for you, and on the question. And the other thing is, this is not a conversation about real estate. Most of the people who fall on their face, it's because they prospect this like FSBO or expired, and they go right for the house. So ideally, and it's not going to be every situation, but ideally, we want you to focus on the people and the situation. And once you've started to build rapport and you can kind of see what's happening, you've got the rest of your career to talk about the real estate. So focus on people first and talk about all the benefits to them and the stress relief that you can bring to them. And then once you can get the appointment, then you talk about real estate. So anyway, that's kind of the explanation of the progression, and I will call you as the real estate agent.
Okay.
Chad, before you do that, please, guys, we need more participants. Hit *6 and hit 1 if you'd like to be up next. Go ahead, Chad. I interrupted your call.
Ring, ring.
Hello, this is Anthony.
Hey, Anthony. My name's Chad Corbett. I actually sent you a letter last week. Maybe you saw that, and I just wanted to follow up, make sure you got it and you understood why I sent it. Do you remember seeing a letter? It was in kind of a greeting card envelope.
I did. I want to thank you for reaching out to me also.
Okay. Well, did you have an opportunity to read through that and kind of see how we can help, and did any of that resonate with you? Is there anything you think we could help with?
I did, and right now we don't have any property to sell, and we're going to hold on to it for a little bit. And I do thank you for reaching out to us.
Okay, so there's a property, but you guys don't plan on selling?
That is correct. We're going to hold on to it until the market improves.
Okay, well, I can certainly understand that. Selling is only one of the things that we can do. I don't know if there's any need or interest from you, but if we can, personal property is usually one of the biggest hurdles for families. So we have our estate sale partner is really good from selling the valuables to donating the rest and even getting the house cleaned out. That may be one way we can help you. A lot of families that we work with will actually transition the home into a rental property and hold it for investment until the market recovers. We can put you in touch with our property manager, kind of show you what that looks like, come in and make some suggestions on what would get you the most market rent. There's a lot of things that we can do to help and you don't know what you don't know. So we live in this space. We help dozens of families. If it's okay with you, I mean, can you tell me a little bit more about the situation, and I'll see if there's any way we can help you out?
My mom and dad, they were married for 45 years, and there's a lot of sentimental attachments to it. My mom doesn't want to let anything go, but we're just knowing that every time we take a look at my dad's stuff, it's heartbreaking knowing that we probably have to do something with it, and we don't want it to just go to waste.
Yeah, I understand that completely, and most of the clients we work with feel exactly the same way as you do right now. And what they find is after they've had some time to digest it, and it's usually after they sit down with us, they feel this sense of relief once they really understand the scope of what we can bring to the table, and we can take most of that stress away. I mean, the family can go through the home and get what's really important. And if you don't want to be there or be part of it, we can handle 100% of the process with our partners, and you guys don't have to be part of that. It's can be really painful for some. So you can come back to an empty house that's ready to rent or ready to sell. So it sounds to me like you guys just aren't quite sure yet. I think it would be really helpful if we could sit down maybe on I've got one appointment on Friday at 3:00. Would you guys be able to meet up and just kind of talk about some of the options then?
We would. How long would it take?
It really depends on how many questions you have. I mean, 30 minutes is anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour.
Okay. We can. Yeah, you can come on over and just, more options is we're looking for options right now, so we're willing to listen to anything. Okay.
Let me ask you, Anthony, I know you're the executor. Are there any co-executors, or who do you feel like should be part of the conversation from when we talk?
Of course my mom, and my sisters and brothers, but they were kind of greedy, on the last house that someone else that passed away. They kept all the money to themselves, so I'm not planning on. But they did cause a big argument, so I'm not sure. I have other people, family members here also, if I need to. I'll tell them about it.
Well, I'll tell you this. I have learned in working with many families that if you or I leave anyone who has a real say in the matter, if we leave them out, even in this initial conversation, a lot of people feel bamboozled, and you and I will both be the devil if that happens. So we just try to be careful to understand the situation and make sure that everybody that should be there does get there. So can you think about that and touch base with those people and just make sure that there's nobody's feelings are going to get hurt because we talk about some options and maybe choose one, maybe not? Like, could you just think about those people and maybe give them a call between now and Friday?
I will. I'll give them a call, and I'll let them know about it. And if they decide to show up, they do. If they don't, then, we'll just keep it moving.
Fair enough. I realize we're all really busy people, so if Friday at 3 doesn't work for somebody, we can bring them in on a conference line.
Okay.
We can even bring them in on a webinar if you want. I'll bring my laptop. Or we can try to find a time next week, maybe next Friday, that we can meet.
Okay, so, that sounds good.
Real quick, so I'm going to do some homework just so, I mean, so you know, I mean, option 1 is selling, option 2 is renting, option 3 is, you know, yeah, down the line. And it really helps me to do a better job doing my homework if I know a little bit more about the house. You have just a few more minutes and tell me some details about the actual house?
Sure, yeah, that'd be fine.
All right, and I'm going to break script there. You know what to do from there.
Yes.
So you tried to get rid of me in the beginning, which is good. You told me you weren't selling, and you tried to wrap up the phone call.
Right.
And I took a very gentle approach of feel, felt, found. I know how you feel. Most of our clients have felt that way. What they found is that we were actually a huge relief once they understood, and then you eased up on me, and that's how it will usually happen. So
right.
When you apply empathy in the form of feel, felt, found, you can turn the ship around on those a lot of times. The other thing I did is, even though you told me the house doesn't need sold, I don't need your help, I didn't
right.
settle for that. So I don't give a damn if you're selling or not. I have a rental company that I can introduce you to. I have a financial planner that I can introduce your mother to, so that you don't have to go through probate when she passes away.
Okay.
I have all these different things that I can do, all these people that can bring value to you.
Uh-huh.
So even if you tell me you're not going to sell that house, or you don't have a house to sell, I'm still going to cover you as much value as I can in the 2 or 3 minutes that you'll have me on the phone. Because I don't know where the next deal is coming from in my business. And we've had so many people get just blindsided by come list me's because they provided value in one situation and something came out of left field and landed on their desk. So I've got you on the phone. I'm going to try to do anything I can to help you because I know you're in a stressful situation, and that's going to come back to me, whether it's on this phone call or the next one, right?
Okay.
Excellent. Anthony, have you actually started making calls yet, or you just got your data? Have you actually gotten on the phone?
No, because my letters just went out yesterday, and I'm waiting for confirmation that they have actually touched down before I start making my phone call.
Make sure the plane's on the ground. Now, did we do the mail for you, Anthony, or did you do it yourself?
No, you guys did it. I have enough stuff in my life to be doing a letter.
Yeah, if we did the mail for you, we'll send you one of the letters. So as soon as you get a letter in the mail from yourself, that's kind of the notice to pick up the phone and start making the calls.
Okay.
And Anthony, I think that was a pretty realistic role play there. Yeah, it really was. That's kind of very few people say, "Oh gosh, so glad you called. I was expecting your call." They're usually very open to your help, but it takes a little bit of getting comfortable with you before they admit that. And that was a really realistic role play. So thank you for stepping up. We have no one else in the queue. Is there anything else you want to work on, Anthony? In the meantime, guys, there's about 40 of you on the call. Please hit *6 and hit pound. And just like Anthony, you can be the seller. You don't have to know a lot, or anywhere you're getting stuck. All right, we got someone else. I begged enough. Anthony,
okay.
Anything else you want to role play, or are you good?
No, I'm good. I'll probably hear some more good nuggets on the next call.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for starting it off today. Appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Phone number ending in 8379. You're up next.
Good afternoon. This is Lucian Prashinsky with Remax from Northeast Ohio, and also a new member. And I figure if no one else is in line, I'm waiting for the leads to come through, and I'd be happy to role play. Probably I'm thinking on the side of being the executor on my end and just learning from you guys coaching on the other end, but just on the line to get some coaching prior to making these first calls here this coming month.
Sure, Anthony.
All
Is there anything you're apprehensive about? Any areas that you don't feel real comfortable making the calls?
My name's Lucian, but that's no big deal.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
sorry.
don't worry about it.
Anthony was the last one. Got it.
No problem. No, I don't think I'm apprehensive. Just feel a little bit green. I mean, I'm in a habit of prospecting FSBOs and expireds, and I'm kind of in that routine, and I understand just from what you mentioned that this is a different nature of a phone call, so I just have to spend some time wrapping my head around this, and I have not done that yet. So I don't think there's apprehension, just a little bit of green and looking for to go a little deeper into it,
Okay. Chad, it might be good then to role play what you originally talked about, where you want to try to get out, why you called and everything. So, solution, I would say, if you would, maybe just to be a little bit different, don't really volunteer anything when he first calls you.
Sure.
Just kind of answer and let him give you a typical scenario where people just answer the phone.
Sure, I can do that.
All right. Thank you. Go ahead, guys.
Ring, ring.
Good afternoon.
Hi, I'm trying to reach Solution.
Speaking. Who's this?
Hey, Lucian, my name's Chad Corbett. I sent you a letter last week, and I just wanted to follow up with a call to make sure you got it and understood why we sent that. You remember seeing it?
I'm not sure what you're referencing here.
Okay, well, no worries. That's why we always make sure to follow up with a phone call. I'm in your area, and we actually specialize in helping families who are going through probate. And as part of that, we do the research at the courthouse, and we noticed that you're the executor in an estate. So I just wanted to reach out, kind of explain some of the ways that we can help and see if there's any value we can bring to you. Have you got just a few minutes to talk?
I'm sorry, how did you get my name and number?
We actually went to the courthouse and looked on the probate records because we've helped so many different families that we have gotten to the point where we proactively reach out because we have a team built specifically to help people through the situation. So we were able to, we pulled the probate record from the county clerk's office and saw that you were the executor, and here we are.
I see. No, I'm sorry, I didn't. I may have gotten a letter, but I didn't. It's probably sitting in a stack of mail, to be honest with you.
I understand. There's a lot on your plate. So, well, just in a nutshell, what we do is, like I said, we have a team of people, and there's a lot of different ways we can help with the real estate, with the overall estate. We have, we can bring cash offers from our investors to sell property in a week. We can help you get homes fixed up so you can get top retail value, and pretty much anything in between. We can, if you want to transition it into a rental property, we can help with that. If you need help setting up an estate plan for future generations, that's one of the things we do. Even if you have, if it's a surviving spouse situation, we can help with a senior moving company to downsize into a more reasonable housing situation. So it really starts with us understanding your situation and the family's goals, and then we provide some options for you, and you choose the one that makes the most sense for you. And I didn't even ask. I mean, is there real estate in the estate that you guys are thinking of selling or could use some help with?
There is one property, yes.
Okay. And do you guys have a plan for it?
Well, there's a lot of things that we've got to take care of in the house, but we were planning on getting the family together and getting it, having a sale and dispersing some of the things to different people in the family and eventually selling it.
Okay. That's what most folks end up doing. Usually 80% of the value is kind of held in the homes. So that's a big part of what we do, is help you, if you need our help you get the home cleaned out and the personal property sold. And we can help you get it cleaned if there's any repairs that need to be made, or if there's money in the estate that you guys want to invest to kind of raise that sales price. We bring our contractors in. We can do anything from light repairs to basically flipping your house for a top dollar retail sale. And again, like I said, it really starts with us sitting down and hearing what you have to say, understanding the situation, and then we can kind of engineer the best strategy for you. I've got we meet with folks on Fridays, and I only have one spot left for the week. It's a Friday at 3:00. Do you think that would be a good time to sit down for a few minutes and talk about the options?
No, it's not. I've got a brother coming in from Arizona on the 13th of this month, and a sister coming up from Southern Ohio, around the same time. So they're both coming up into town middle of the month, and we're going to try to get through some of this stuff in the house. And I don't think I'm quite ready yet. I mean, you're welcome to follow up with me, maybe sometime around the middle of the month or when they're in town. But I'm not really in the position to sit down this Friday.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and pencil in, let's just say 3 p.m. on the 13th. That gives me enough time to make sure that's open on my calendar. I'll give you a call back a couple days beforehand, but if you could let them know that, you know, I'll be there. I'll probably be there when they're in town. And honestly, I'd like to meet with you guys before you take too much action on the personal property, because if you decide that you want us to help, we're pretty much going to handle it all for you, and we don't take any of the proceeds. Our state sale partner will split the proceeds with you, and we'll just make sure that everything gets done. So it's, you know, nothing we do we don't charge any fees or anything up front. If we end up helping and selling the real estate, you know, we get paid once we do exactly what we promised. So if you could just let everybody know, I'll pencil that in on the 13th, and I'll give you a call back like around the 10th or 11th. Does that sound fair?
Sure, yeah. Just give me a call that week and remind me. And,
Okay.
you know, we can boil down a specific time as we get a little closer and when everyone gets in town.
Okay. Well, great. Hey, thanks so much for taking my call, and I'll talk to you in a week or so.
Okay, thanks.
So I'm going to back off of you right there. You gave me the tentative appointment. You didn't fight me on it. I'm probably going to find a reason to call you before the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
I'll find some way that I can be valuable to you, and I'll call you to touch base just to make sure you've got everybody there on the 13th at 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I'll get some more information on the real estate. Once I'm in the second phone call with you and we've built some more rapport, you were being a little standoffish, but you were giving me future access, so I'm going to back off of you, and I'll get the rest of what I need next time we talk.
Yeah, that was good. So at first I was trying to put myself in the position of being a individual going through that process, and I was feeling a little bit like you were going after or talking about the personal personal stuff a lot. I kind of felt that there may be some motive in whoever this is calling me, wanting to get involved with benefiting from the personal stuff. But then at the end, I learned that you said, listen, we don't profit or generate any income off of the sale of any of the belongings of the property. It's just a service that we provide to assist you in, I don't know exactly what you said, cleaning it out in an efficient manner or whatnot. But that was good for me to hear that, because I felt a little bit like there was a lot of focus on that. And I think some people may, just because of the nature of personal family belongings, might throw a guard up. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yep, no, that's a very valid observation. So the reason that conversation was heavy on that is because I felt you in the probate quicksand. And the single biggest reason of objections is the personal property, because it's the largest emotional barrier. And most people will put their head in the sand and not make decisions because it's so damn uncomfortable to go through that house and pick everything apart and then decide who gets what and what you're going to sell and what do you do with what doesn't sell and how are we going to throw away mom's clothes. I don't have the heart to do that. So it's such an emotional bottleneck for most people that I felt that in your conversation, and I've had it in many conversations. So that's why I spent time showing you that we can take a lot of that emotional pain away by actually handling it for you instead of having to go through that.
And then what? So what did you?
And for the reason you felt on guard, I did come back to tell you we don't get paid a dime until we do what we promise, and it's just if we sell the real estate.
Right. That makes sense. So what's your experience been with, families and their focus being so much around the personal belongings up front? And that, I guess maybe if you're throwing a percentage at it or, odds are, in your experience, what do you find even when you offer that as far as them taking you up on that versus wanting to distribute and liquidate and do a lot of that themselves and then taking you up on that? What do you find there?
I find that your estate sale partner is your golden safety net.
Okay.
It gives people such a level of security that they're okay meeting with you. mean, when I call it probate quicksand because people are just stuck and they just won't make a decision until a lot of times, you know, vacant houses get worse and worse and lose value.
Mhm.
If I feel like you're standing in your own damn way, I'm going to get you by the hand and pull you out of the probate quicksand. And I'm not a high pressure salesperson. I'll do it by applying a lot of value behind you to push you out of it.
Mhm.
But what I find is usually if I can get you to commit to an appointment by putting that safety net in place, when I sit down at the table and look you in the eye and say, okay, so what's our plan for the personal property? Would you like us to do it, or are you going to do it? 9 times out of 10, they'll break through and they'll clean the house out in the next 3 or 4 days completely by themselves. And I've had widows that have not moved their husband's slippers for 2 years and had the letter that I sent for over a year. And they call and say, please come meet with me. Within 2 or 3 days, the house was completely empty. Craigslist, Salvation Army, churches, roll-off dumpsters. A 54-year-old woman did it all by herself. And it was just because I put that safety net there and said, I got your back if you don't want to do this. And she's like, nope. I need to do it. I've needed to do it, and I've known that, and this has helped me. Like, I'm going to do it. So that's the normal reaction that I see. The estate sale partner is really important when you need them. They're most important during the initial conversation because it gives people that comfort level of, okay, this isn't just a realtor trying to prey on me. He's actually got my back. He can take one of the most painful parts of this process completely away. And I didn't even know realtors did that.
Mhm.
And Lucian, I was going to say we have one other person in the queue we want to get to, but Lucian, I was going to say also pay attention to where the executor's at. If they're 1,000 miles away, there's probably a greater likelihood that you're going to have to help them do it. If they're local, like Chad said, sometimes you're just going to spur them to take the action that they already need to take, and they already know it. But you know, making a commitment to you to get together kind of makes them get the process started if they're local. And if they're not local, good chance that they're going to rely on your estate sale company. So kind of pay a little bit of attention to that. Go ahead.
Makes sense. Just to clarify and repeat what you had said that it brings up a lot of value in that initial conversation to get the defense down, that I'm not just praying for the listing, and that makes sense. But you said that most people will end up doing it themselves in your scenario.
They do in my market. This is most of the executors are local. From actually all of them are pretty much local for me.
Okay.
Jim has a very good point. If you're in a transient market or a vacation market, retirement market.
No, I'm in rural.
Okay, so you're probably
rural Northeast Ohio.
For those of you in the call, I'm in Southern Florida, and you know I did 16 probate deals and met one person, so it's just the opposite here. But in any market, you're going to have some local and some out of the area. So pay attention to that because it's going to, it's definitely going to affect the likelihood that they're going to do it themselves. If they're not local, they need you more. Go ahead, Chet.
Sorry, Jim. Before we wrap this up, I do want to add, when I'm looking them in the eye at the table and I say, are you going to do this or would you like us to do it? As soon as they answer me, I'm like, great, what's our target date? Hold them to a target date. Don't give them room to procrastinate or back out. So once you establish a strategy for the personal property, right then move to a target date. And you can say it's because of photography or because you have to schedule the clean out crew, make whatever reason it is, because you've gotten them out of their comfort zone and they trust you. But you need to get another level of commitment. Once they say, well, I guess we're going to do it. Okay, well, perfect. If anything changes, if you change your mind, we can bring the estate sale partner in and help you or do it all. Just remember that. What's our date? So just so I know when I can be here for photography, I want to get it on the calendar, or just so I can get the cleaner and make sure she's available. What's our date that we're going to have everything out? And get that date. It's also, that's one of the first presumptive closes in your listing appointment. So they've already made a commitment to meet with you. They've made a commitment to get a house cleaned out and on a certain date. Subconsciously, you're their realtor. You might not have signed the listing agreement yet, but they're moving forward with you and you haven't even discussed the listing agreement. So sure. It's one step in a multiple step presumptive closing. By the time you get to the listing agreement, and literally I've never had to ask somebody if they wanted to list. They will pull the listing and start filling it out. And that's just one of those things that I do to get that.
Thanks for the advice, Chad. I appreciate it.
Awesome. 2 great role plays, no pressure. We have one more person in the queue, so we're going to go probably another 5-10 minutes, guys. Thank you for everybody who's still on the line. This will be the last one for today. Phone number ending in 0788. You're up.
Yes. Hi, I'm Eileen, and I haven't downloaded my leads yet, but I had some questions about what I just heard. I'm actually in Atlantic City, where it's a vacation market, and I have had a lot of estate sales. But so when you're talking about having calling somebody and saying that you'll clean out the house, are you actually referring to an estate sale company that you partner with to work that out?
That's right. So we want the appearance of being kind of a hub, or kind of a vertically integrated solution for these people. And it's logistically, all we're going to do is call the estate sale partner and say, here's an address, here's a phone number, and the person's name. Go over and take a look at it, and here's the target date that we picked. And you just tell they're just another vendor, just like if you were sending a home inspector or a photographer to a listing. And none of the money comes through your books. So it's really simple. It's one of those. It's kind of a no cost, high value service that you can provide for your client. It doesn't really cost you any more time or money, but it's a huge value that you've vetted that person or that company, and you can basically just take 2 minutes out of your day and schedule something that will save them hours upon hours and lots of stress.
And when I'm calling somebody for the first time and they are an out of town relative, how do I get around to saying about the listing? I mean, would I say that at the very beginning? Do I introduce myself? Oh, hi, I'm Eileen. I work with the real estate. Do I introduce myself? Is that way?
I find it easier to start the conversation and build rapport if you don't identify as a realtor or an investor, or you can call yourself a probate expert, a probate professional, a real estate professional, maybe. It's best if you say, we specialize in helping families in probate, or we are probate experts in Atlantic City. It's going to be easier to get the conversation going if people have an unfortunate perception of realtors and what we do. They think we stick signs in the yard and steal money, and we're all idiots. And we're not valuable until we're really needed, and they finally understand what we do. So they don't rush to a conclusion and kind of shut down on you before you can start the conversation. My advice is don't really identify as I'm just calling to talk about the real estate. Identify yourself as somebody who can help their overall situation, and then once you've got the conversation started, just like I did in one of the role plays earlier, and by the way, 80% of the wealth is typically held in real estate for that reason. We are licensed in the state of New Jersey, and we can handle the sale of your home. And by the way, we've specialized in probate real estate as well, as part of what we do. So we have a lot of experience helping families navigate that process.
Now, I have one more question. If this happens, if I personally know the person who passed away, should I start the conversation that way?
I mean, how well do you know? You're going to use your own judgment there. I mean, if it's somebody you already know, I would say, hey, I know the person that passed away. Yeah. Oh, do you know the personal representative? No, okay. I would just know the person. I would call and say, hey, I heard about Mary. Sorry to hear that. Mary, I don't know if you know, but Mary and I were friends. Yeah. I've helped a lot of families go through this process, and I just wanted to introduce myself and kind of let you know that I'm here if you need me.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Okay, that sounds very good. That's very helpful.
Awesome. Excellent. One thing, thank you so much, Eileen. I wanted to add that we always, whenever we talk about the estate sale companies, don't forget the personal property is a high stress item for these people. Often, these people reach out to the estate sale company before they'll call a realtor. So if you're going to partner with an estate sale company and give them business, make sure it's a reciprocal arrangement. Make sure that you're the agent that they refer people to if the people contact them first. Just
right, that's a great idea.
Yeah, make it a reciprocal relationship with the people that you're doing business with. Guys, great call today. Thank you to Anthony. Thank you to Lucian. Thank you, Eileen. I think it was some really great, realistic situations. I always like to end these calls. First of all, less than 24 hours from now, tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern is our open forum Thursday call. Please come back for that. And I always like to end these calls by challenging everybody that took a half hour to be here today. We had some great ideas, some great exchanges. Take one idea, one thought, one thing you learned on today's call, and go put it into practice and come back the next Thursday, which would be tomorrow, or the following Thursday, and share it with the group. Thank you so much, guys. We will talk to you 1 o'clock Eastern tomorrow.
Yeah,
go ahead,
one more question.
Sure.
Was this recorded? Could I go and listen? It is?
Yes, ma'am.
How would I get
Chad,
the recording?
Very good. Last question of the day, Chad. Tell them where to find the recording, please.
When you log into subscriber portal and look on the left, click on conference calls, and then click the blue button for conference call archive.
Okay.
And as always, if you ever have, I'm going to say, if you ever have any trouble, just send an email to support@alltheleads, and someone will call you back and tell you where to find what you're looking for.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Make it a great day, and we'll talk to you on Thursday. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.